There is an old truth that many people learn too late. Not every danger arrives with violence. Some dangers smile. They shake your hand. They compliment your home. They sit at your table. They laugh with your family. And before they leave, they take something that cannot easily be replaced: your peace. Most people believe that a home is protected by walls, locks, cameras, and strong doors. But the Stoics believed that the greatest protection was never made of stone or steel. It was wisdom. The wisdom to know who deserves to cross your threshold and who should remain outside. The frightening part is that the people who disturb your peace rarely look dangerous. They don't break your windows. They don't steal your possessions. They don't threaten your family. Instead, they quietly change the atmosphere of your home. The laughter becomes less frequent. Conversations grow shorter. The warmth that once filled every room slowly begins to disappear. And because this change happens so gradually, most people never realize what caused it. They blame stress. They blame work. They blame age. But sometimes, the greatest threat to a peaceful home isn't what happens inside it. It's who you allow to enter. The ancient Stoics understood something that modern psychology has only recently begun to explain. Human emotions spread. Fear spreads. Anxiety spreads. Negativity spreads. So does peace. Every person carries an invisible emotional climate wherever they go. Some people walk into a room and somehow make everyone feel calmer. Others walk into the very same room, and without saying anything extraordinary, the entire atmosphere becomes heavier. Marcus Aurelius believed that one of our greatest responsibilities is not merely protecting our possessions, it is protecting our character. Because once your peace is disturbed, every part of your life begins to suffer. Your patience becomes shorter. Your judgment becomes clouded. Your relationships become strained. Even your own home, the one place meant to restore your spirit after facing the world, can begin to feel like another battlefield. That is why wise people throughout history have never judged others only by their words. They watched their patterns. They observed how people made others feel. They noticed who consistently left behind encouragement and who consistently left behind exhaustion. Today, we're going to explore 3 kinds of people the Stoics would quietly warn you never to invite into your home. Not because they deserve hatred, not because they are evil, but because peace is precious. And once it disappears, it is far more difficult to rebuild than most people imagine. As we continue, I want you to think about one person, someone whose visits always leave you feeling strangely drained. Someone who changes the mood of your home without ever raising their voice. Keep that person in your mind, because by the end of this reflection, you may finally understand why. Your home is more than a building. It is the place where your mind is supposed to rest after facing the noise of the world. It is where your family gathers, where your thoughts settle, where your spirit recovers from the battles of everyday life. That is why the people you welcome into your home matter far more than most realize. Every visitor carries something invisible. Some carry encouragement, some carry hope, some carry calm, but others bring resentment, chaos, envy, conflict. They may never raise their voice. They may never insult you directly. Yet long after they leave, the atmosphere of your home somehow feels different. At first, nothing appears different. Then one day you realize that your patience has become shorter. Your joy has become weaker. Your home no longer feels like the refuge it once was. The Stoics understood something modern psychology has only recently confirmed. Human emotions spread. Negativity spreads. Anxiety spreads. Fear spreads. Even without words, one troubled mind can influence an entire room. The laughter seems quieter. The conversations become shorter. The peace you once enjoyed begins to fade. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that the quality of our lives depends on the quality of our thoughts. But what shapes our thoughts more than the company we keep? The people around us quietly influence the way we think, the way we speak, and even the way we see ourselves. This influence rarely happens overnight. It happens slowly, almost invisibly, like water wearing away stone. Think about the last time you entered a room where two people had just argued. No one needed to explain what had happened. You could feel it. The tension was already there. Emotions leave traces. Every person carries an emotional climate wherever they go. This is why wise people have always been careful about their inner circle. Not because they hated others, not because they believed themselves superior, but because they understood that peace is fragile. It feels ordinary. That is what makes it dangerous. There is a common mistake many people make. They judge others only by intentions. He means well. She's just having a hard time. They've always been like that. Compassion is noble, but compassion without boundaries often becomes self-destruction. The Stoics never taught us to stop loving people. It takes months to build trust, only minutes to damage it. The Roman philosopher Seneca once wrote that we become like those we spend time with. He warned that bad company corrupts not only our behavior, but also our judgment. Slowly, almost without noticing, we begin to accept what we once rejected. We laugh at gossip that once disturbed us. We tolerate disrespect that once offended us. We normalize habits that once seemed unacceptable. This transformation rarely feels dramatic. They taught us to love wisely, to understand that kindness and boundaries can exist together. Imagine owning a beautiful garden. You water it every day. You remove weeds. You protect it from insects. Now imagine allowing anyone to walk through it whenever they please. Some visitors admire the flowers. Others step on them without even noticing. Eventually, the garden reflects not only your care, but also the behavior of those you allowed inside. Your mind works the same way. Your home works the same way. Every guest either protects your peace or quietly damages it. The difficult part is that harmful people rarely appear harmful in the beginning. The most dangerous storms often begin beneath clear skies. The most destructive relationships often begin with charming conversations. That is why wisdom matters more than appearances. A person may dress well, speak politely, smile warmly, yet still leave behind confusion, exhaustion, conflict. Their true nature is revealed not by first impressions, but by repeated patterns. Patterns never lie. One visit may reveal nothing. Several visits reveal everything. Ancient philosophers believed that character always exposes itself through repetition. Not promises, not apologies, not appearances, actions, repeated actions. And the first type of person we are about to discuss is perhaps the easiest to recognize, yet the hardest to refuse. Because society often mistakes their behavior for honesty. People say, they're just telling the truth. They're just realistic. They're only venting. But there is a profound difference between honesty and habitual negativity. The first person rarely shouts. They rarely create obvious conflict. Instead, they slowly change the emotional temperature of every room they enter. And by the time most people realize what has happened, their home no longer feels like home. That person is the constant complainer. The first person teaches an important lesson. Peace is not usually destroyed by one dramatic moment. It is worn away by repetition. A single complaint changes very little. 100 complaints reshape the atmosphere of an entire household. That is why wisdom requires more than kindness. It requires discernment. The Stoics believed that every relationship should be examined by its long-term effect, not its short-term appearance. A pleasant afternoon means little if every visit leaves your family feeling drained. Charming words have little value if the pattern they create is one of tension rather than trust. Now consider a different kind of visitor. Unlike the constant complainer, this person is rarely negative in obvious ways. They may congratulate your achievements, They may smile when you succeed. They may even tell others how proud they are of you. Yet beneath those words is an emotion that quietly poisons relationships. Envy. Envy does not always look like hatred. More often it looks like comparison. It notices every improvement in your life. It counts your blessings while ignoring its own. Instead of asking, "How can I become better?" it asks, "Why should they have more than I do?" That single question changes everything. A person ruled by envy begins to see your success as a personal loss. Your happiness becomes a reminder of what they believe they are missing. Your progress becomes uncomfortable to witness. Slowly, encouragement turns into criticism. Celebration becomes silence. Support becomes subtle competition. The danger is not that an envious person wants what you have. The danger is that they begin to resent the fact that you have it at all. Instead of joining that joy, the envious visitor quietly searches for imperfections. The house is nice, but the neighborhood is noisy. Your children are doing well, but just wait until they're older. You've done well for yourself, but these things never last. Notice what has happened. They have not insulted you directly. Instead, they have planted doubt. One sentence. The Stoics understood that another person's fortune neither increases nor decreases your own virtue. Character cannot be stolen. Wisdom cannot be borrowed. Peace cannot be measured against someone else's possessions. Yet envy convinces people that life is a race with only one winner. Imagine inviting someone into your home after years of hard work. Your family is healthy. Your children are laughing. The room is filled with gratitude. Then another. Like tiny cracks in a window that grows weaker with every season. Words matter because thoughts become habits. Habits become attitudes. Attitudes become the emotional climate of a home. A wise family celebrates one another without comparison. An envious person struggles to celebrate anyone for long. That is why you must never confuse politeness with goodwill. Some people applaud with their hands while quietly competing with their hearts. This does not mean you should become suspicious of every compliment. It means you should pay attention to consistency. The people who truly care about you become happier when your life improves. They do not become distant. They do not become cold. They do not search for reasons your success should not matter. They celebrate because your happiness adds to their own. Those are the people worth keeping close. Now we come to the final visitor. They involve themselves in conversations that are not theirs. When you express discomfort, they laugh and say you are too sensitive. When you ask for space, they accuse you of being distant. Little by little, respect disappears. The Stoics believed that self-respect begins where clear boundaries exist. A person who cannot respect your limits cannot truly respect your peace. Many people fear setting boundaries because they mistake them for rejection. But a boundary is not a wall. This person is often the hardest to recognize because they rarely arrive with bad intentions. They simply believe that every boundary is negotiable. Every request deserves an exception. Every no is merely the beginning of a discussion. This is the boundary breaker. At first, their actions seem small. They arrive without notice. They stay far longer than they promised. They borrow things without asking. It is a doorway with a lock. It allows the right people to enter while protecting what is valuable inside. Without boundaries, generosity becomes exhaustion. Without boundaries, kindness becomes obligation. Without boundaries, a peaceful home slowly becomes a place where everyone feels responsible for someone else's emotions. That is not compassion, that is imbalance. Notice how every one of these three people has something in common. The constant complainer drains hope. The envious visitor drains joy. The boundary breaker drains respect. Hope, joy, respect. Remove those three from a home and very little remains. But there is another side to this lesson. Do not ask only who enters your home. Ask who enters your mind. Every book you read, Every video you watch, every conversation you repeat, every voice you allow to shape your thinking is also a guest. Your front door is not the only entrance worth protecting. Your attention deserves the same care. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning that he would encounter difficult people. He did not expect the world to change. He prepared his own character instead. That may be the greatest lesson of all. You cannot control who appears at your door. You cannot control another person's character. You cannot remove envy from the world or prevent negativity from existing. But you can decide who receives repeated access to your time, your energy, your family, and your peace. Every invitation is a choice. Every repeated choice becomes a habit. Every habit shapes the life you eventually call your own. Guard your home. Guard your mind. Guard your character. For when those three remain secure, very little in this world can truly take your peace. Thank you for spending this time in reflection. If this message spoke to you, share in the comments which lesson stayed with you the most. So tonight, before you lock your doors, ask yourself one final question. Who have I been protecting my home from? And who have I been unknowingly inviting inside? Sometimes the greatest act of wisdom is not opening another door. It is quietly closing one. Because peace is not found by accident. It is protected through countless small decisions that few people ever notice. If this reflection encouraged you to think differently about the people you allow into your life, remember this: your insight may become the encouragement someone else needs today. Until next time, protect your peace with wisdom, live with intention, and remember, the strongest walls are not built from stone, they are built from character.